Hello everyone, it's Red with RedDragonLeo.com. Today is Wednesday. Not really much to say here. Looks like we're just chopping around here at this light volume all week. And I don't know when we're going to get the big move, whether or not it's going to be this Friday or I doubt it tomorrow. Tomorrow's looking extremely bullish, but we might get a sell-off Friday. And it's very possible that we could have a down day Friday. I wouldn't count my hopes up on it, but it is possible. So, looking here at the daily chart, if you look at this candle right here, and the way it went down and then turned and went back up into the close as the gangsters manipulated again with more free money. It's typical of the bulls to do this. It's almost just becoming a guaranteed thing that you're going to see it, that they're going to do this. They took the last 2 days to basically work off the overbought conditions, and they're getting it to where it's almost oversold. It's not quite oversold yet, but so there's a possibility it could go down in the morning and then go back up into the close. But looking at the futures right now, the after hours futures, it's looking like it's done on the downside for now, and it's just probably going to go up. I'll get to the 60-minute chart in a second, but we're looking at this candle pattern, and you'll look back here to this area right here, and again it looks very, very similar to it. Whereas today would be either this candle here, this red candle down, or this one right here that went down. Obviously it didn't go quite as far down as this one, and then reversed, and the next day went up and closed positive, and then the next day closed down, and then a big down the following day. If it's that, so this little red candle could be Friday, and this could possibly be Thursday, with that being like Monday. It's wishful thinking, but it's possible. So where are we at in this? Are we at this candle or this candle? It's hard to say. These aren't exact. They don't follow it exactly to a T, of course. But I do think that we will close positive tomorrow, put in a new high. Sorry, bears. But yes, I think we'll put in a new high. I don't know whether or not it's going to stick or not. If it takes all day to get up there and the volume just dies off, then I wouldn't count on it selling off tomorrow. You're going to have a big white candle, solid candle, much like this right here. It very well could happen. Now, if on the other hand it happens very quickly, if they ram this thing up real quickly and it gets overbought very quickly, it is possible, and I mean like in the first hour or something of trading, first couple hours of trading, it is possible that this thing could roll over and put in a topping tail candle, which would be beautiful, beautiful for us bears. But went up there, tagged it, cleared out all the stops, come back down, closed it with a around this same area. I don't care if it's positive or negative. If we just closed right here at this same area with the big long topping tail, that'd be a beautiful sign for us bears. I just don't think that they're going to do it. The way that you could probably get a good idea whether or not that's going to happen, really, is going to be right at the open. If it is gapped up at the open, which I suspect it will be, after this consolidation chop that we've had the last couple of days, if they gap it up, then what could very happen is it can immediately become overbought and start to sell off the rest of the day. But if they open it up just barely up and start to push up hard the whole day, then it's probably going to be a solid white candle, up candle. So it really depends upon the open. So if they use up all their POMO money in the pre-market, when the volume is light, that gives me the indication that they know they're not going to be able to hold it up there all day long. So then it would have a tendency to sell back off as the charts would roll over. But there again, it all depends. They're very, very smart on this. You got to give them credit for this. I mean, because they use the money to push the market up when they can control it with the least amount of money. That's early in the morning before it opens. Then once it opens, people are forced to jump in and cover their shorts, so they don't have to put any more money in. And then once noontime comes along and everybody's covered their shorts and it's already up here to peak, it doesn't take a lot to hold it up there because all the selling has died off. And so they just have to, pump a little bit of money every time it wants to dip, up, pump it in, dip, pump it in, and it's not a large amount of money to be able to do that, at least on a scale that, we can understand. So the scenario there would be, if it gaps up and runs up there really quick and gets overbought and starts to roll back down, that very well could be, it could be the top tomorrow, possibly. And then selling would continue, especially if we put in a candle like that. I just don't know when they're going to do it. Nobody can call this top. I just don't know when it's going to happen, what day it's going to happen on, if it's going to work out like that. But if they gap it up like that and they keep and as everybody tries to sell it, because bears are going to jump on board and try to sell this peak wherever it's at up here at 1333 or wherever they're going to take it, they're going to jump on it and try to sell it. Well, if they pull the POMO money out and let it sell off, then it will go down and put in a topping tail. But if they try to fight the bears like they have been, and every time it goes down they buy it up with the POMO money, then they'll end up squeezing those bears out and closing up with a solid white candle. So those are just the scenarios that we have. Looking at the 60-minute chart, you can clearly see here, right here in all this consolidation that we've got right here. It is very typical. The time period from here to here is getting very similar from here to here. Time period wise indicates a move just like this, just like this one was. Bull flag, basically. Up, sideways consolidation, bull flag. Up, sideways consolidation, bull flag. Notice only bull flags work. No bear flags allowed in this game. Sorry, fellas. So even though you can see it bounced right off the RSI, bounced right off the 50 line, and hooked right back up into the close, it is crisscrossing right here and not giving any clear direction on the ADX lines. And as you can see, it's losing strength. It doesn't have any strength for either trend, either the uptrend or the downtrend. Neither trend really has any strength, but they're going below 20. And so they're just about even, as you can see. So there's really no clear direction on that. So you gotta, when there's light volume, a bull flag, and there's gangsters in the White House, you pretty much have to go long, which means, well, I guess we should always be going long then. So that's kind of the scenario we're looking at here. You can clearly see the 60-minute chart over the last 2 days has went down and worked its way off. So I expect it to go right back up, put in that third histogram tower that I was looking for. I didn't know if it's going to do it here or sell off first and then come back up. So so it looked like they decided to sell it off first, and then they're going to come back up and put in a histogram tower. Is it going to be lower than this one, or are they really going to jam it high? If they put in a new high, it could very well shoot up here to 2 or better, or maybe even 3. Again, putting in another ridiculous move like this one here. I mean, it's just the way they play the game. Difference, of course, here compared to here, when you look at these, is with this one, the MACD had sold off into negative territory down to negative 2.5, and here we are still up at positive 2.5 and hooking back up. So it's a very, very weak sell-off, and it could very easily hook back up as this goes up if there's no news out, nothing major, and of course they control that. So there's nothing major, and then it should hook back up And from this level here, I don't think it'll have a lot of strength to go and put a big, huge tower like this. These big, huge histogram towers and big moves up are generally going to be coming from a very low position where it's got a really long runway, you might say, a long ramp to push up, which is from negative 2.5 all the way up to positive 5. But from here, from negative 2 or from positive 2.5 to hook back up and go back up to 5.0 is probably more likely going to put in a lower histogram tower. And you can see here we are hooking back up here as well on the full stochastic as well. So that tells me that they're not going to get a tremendous push up from at least momentum wise from being already up here at 2.5. And in order to get the maximum amount of momentum, you really got to be down here and then use it as a launch pad to really propel yourself upwards. And that's just what I've noticed in the market. And of course, you want to match this up with the other charts too, the other 30-minute and 15-minute. You want them all to match up together, get all three of them in sequence together, and then you can really ramp it up high. So this would lead me to believe, just speculating again, that if you're going to launch from 2.5, you're not going to have a lot of room to run. So if I was the gangsters, I would probably push it up and gap it up in the morning to get the most bang for my buck to run it up higher, because you just don't have a lot of ability to run it up like this one here did. So if that kind of makes sense to you. Matching this up with the 30-minute chart, very, very similar, the same thing. The 30-minute chart is actually much deeper already. It's down to the 0 line, and prior to that over here in this territory it went down to negative 5. So if it curls back up tomorrow morning like I expect it to, and as you can see it looks like it wants to here as well, as it wants to go back up, I expect it to put in not too tall of a tower, because it just doesn't have as much room to run up. So you can draw this line right here and extend it on out. It could go up here and bang on it and go right back. Now, of course, on the other hand, if they have some early morning weakness and they push it down in the morning, maybe from, who knows, initial claims or whatever, garbage news that they put out there, it makes no difference anymore. You know, they do have room to run down a little bit more to get it, to whip it back up. So that is possible that they could sell it off further early in the morning and then recycle back up into the close, and that's very bullish. If they sell it off in the morning and get this thing oversold right here and then recycle it back up, then that's going to be a very bullish move. And that would mean we probably won't go down very much when they do sell it off. We won't go down very much, so it'll be kind of similar to this garbage. If it goes down a little bit and it takes its sweet time doing it, the first hour or two, then and gets itself buried here and recycles back up, that's going to be a very bullish move. So I lean towards the other. I lean towards it more of a gap up and gap up and go, I guess. And whether it sticks or not is another question. Being this, it all depends on how high this histogram tower goes. Really, it does. If it's a big, huge one on the gap up and up to here, I don't see it happening. It's going to stay all day, though. It's not going to sell off, most likely. But if it's a small one, and even if this line doesn't quite work, still, if it's a small one, but it's at a high level, that meant it didn't have very much strength on this push up, which leads me to believe it would be a pattern that would most likely roll over and fall back down until the later parts of the day. So hopefully it's making a little sense to you. And same thing here on this. As you can see, we are pushing up on the 15-minute chart as well, and it did go lower. As you can see, it went all the way down here to about -1 or something, and is pushing up. So it's going to give it some strength. And same thing. So it did break this trend line right here, but it really didn't matter because it just didn't do it with any volume. Isn't that funny? So, and again, same thing here. Very, very low on the ADX line, as they're just crisscrossing, not doing much. Can't get any momentum either way. So it's certainly losing steam. So I would lean towards a gap open and go up and then it roll over. That's what I would really lean towards it doing. 5-minute chart, same thing. The 5-minute chart's sitting here at 0. It can push up a lot higher, as you can see, and get even over more volt. 5-minute chart, we don't really look for that for the whole day. Doesn't really help us a lot on it. I really look towards the 15-minute chart here, and the 30 and the 60s, really the main ones. And all of this would line up perfectly with the fake print that we got on the VIX, 14.86. So, and ironically, I think that is showing up here on Cobra's, on this this right here. I think it is showing up on the VIX. Here, if we refresh the page, there it is. There it is. It is. It showed up there, which is rare that they show them fake prints there. I'm pretty sure it was a fake print, regardless of the fact that it was a real print. Understand that a fake print is simply a real print that took place, but it's like it's for one trade. It's not something that the market actually did go to that level for any period of time. Everybody else was up here in this level, and all of a sudden somebody bought or sold down here at this level. There was no gradual transition down to this level. It was just simply a spike there. That's as opposed to some of these others. See, in any of these others, it actually went up to that through the whole day and then back down. I mean, it's just the way it worked. It was none of that. This was clearly a fake print. So it is my belief that that's where it will go again quickly. And if we gap up and start to lose some steam, then very possibly that would go down there, tag that, and hopefully maybe it'll hit our 1333 or wherever it wants to hit, regardless. So just look really close on these charts and see how far it goes up. If it goes up to here, I wouldn't be shorting it if it goes up really high on this histogram tower bar. But if it goes up to here, that tells you it doesn't got much strength. Okay? So if the price is up and the histogram tower bar is not very strong, it's not supporting it, that's a likely sell signal that it's going to sell off later in the day and put in a topping tail. So, but statistically speaking, it is a bull day tomorrow. And I think Cobra put a good chart up here for it, and showing you statistically that there should be another high. Oh, he showed you also some support. Cobra's great at this stuff. I just like Cobra. He really is really good at this stuff. He catches all the technicals, and not that they've always worked. We all kind of know that this market is very heavily manipulated. They want us to believe the technicals work, and they will for a little while, just until a big move comes along, and then they screw you and say, no, you seen that one coming, guys. It's time to reverse the technicals and not make that one work. Let's go against the grain. And that's exactly what they do. They go against the technicals and throw Elliott Wave guys a curveball that is impossible to hit. And, so that's why the Elliott Wave doesn't work anymore. The Elliott Wave would work in a free market. It really would. But in this market, forget it. We can't even get technicals to work. They're closer, though. I will say technicals are closer. And, of course, fundamentals are actually worthless. And to think that years and years ago, I actually thought that fundamentals meant something. What a joke that was. How naive was I? So anyway, we're coming into some support here, some major support, as you can see. So, so in any case, oh, he showed that same thing, that same chart. Okay. So you can check his stuff out. He's clearly says that it's likely to be an update tomorrow too. But that's about all I got, folks. I can't think of anything else. So I just wanted to do a comment cleaner and do a new post for. So didn't have a lot to type, but that is it. I haven't heard any more about when they're going to release the information that will go to a new currency. You know, we don't know when that's going to happen. When it happens, believe me, there's going to be panic. It didn't happen on February the 8th, Monday. So we're still now what is today? Today's Wednesday. So we are still, or what was February the 7th? It was supposed to happen Monday, but anyway. So it never happened. So we're still waiting. So the Legatus pilgrimage is over with. We could be turning any time now. Like I said, the last Legatus pilgrimage was here, and we actually bottomed a few days prior to it. So maybe we're going to top a few days after it. I think we're close, though. I really do. I think our top is very, very close. Let's hope for an early morning gap up with a very small histogram tower bar on it showing weakness, which would put in a nice topping tail and allow the bears to get short that still got some capital left and take a ride down. That's it, folks. Good luck, everyone.